So far for the surging Nats. Pounding ace pitching last night for 13 runs on 20 hits, leaving no doubt about career win number 1,800 for the skipper. Local product Joe Ross gets this one started on a beautiful afternoon in Oakland. Welcome back to Oakland. What does the Nats offense have in store for today? And by the way, at this ballpark last night, in the series between these two teams, it's the first time the road team ever won a game. So we've got Nats fans out here wanting to see more offense, wanting to see how the local guy Joe Ross does against his hometown Athletics. Bob and FP, sometimes statistics get a little boring to look at every day during the season. But when the team's going like this, the numbers don't lie. It's a lot of fun to update what this ball club's doing.
I mean, last night they hit 5 home runs. They scored 13 runs. They had 20 hits, and Bryce Harper wasn't even here. So when you talk about what this offense has done this year, it's just epic. Every starter last night had at least 1 hit, at least 1 RBI, and at least 1 run scored. What these guys have been doing is just unbelievable. They look to continue here today against the A's.
Nats tied all of baseball for the lead with Houston with runs. Brian Goodwin. Bryce Harper's out for 3 days. Goodwin steps in, a 4-hit night, first big league homer last evening.
Yeah, I think that defensive play actually was the catalyst of his night last night. The diving play in right center field loosened him up. He had a base hit, then another base hit, then a home run, then a triple. It's always nice to see the bench guys and the guys that get called up from AAA to have a big game, filling in big time for Bryce Harper.
Yeah, very cool when the bottom of the order produces. He's stepping it up. And for the last couple of weeks, Michael A. Taylor as well. Joe Ross came here as a kid. He's been on this mound before. That was as a high schooler.
Yeah, he played at Bishop O'Dowd right down the street. He takes the mound for the first time since he was in a high school tournament here. He looks to get through the 5th inning. He's been hitting the wall in the 4th and 5th. We'll keep an eye on that here today.
So come across the Bay Bridge with us over to the Coliseum. The Nats and the A's. Perfect road trip so far. And brought to you by PNC Bank for the achiever in you. By the Lexus RX featuring a pre-collision system with pedestrian detection standard. And by the Virginia Lottery. Look for the game of the summer, the Corvette and Cash Scratcher from the Virginia Lottery. San Francisco in the distance. Nationals dugout right in front of you. Dusty Baker looking for number 1801 this afternoon. What a day. Clouds have burned off. It's 66 here in Oakland, 64% humidity. Fantastic. Nats have won 4 in a row, 9 of 11. Here's the lineup. Daniel Murphy in the number 3 spot, having a great road trip, 10 for 19 out here on the West Coast. Murph, 373 on the road this year and 353 over his last 31 games. So Adam Lind is at left field today. Jason Worth DHing. Stephen Drew gives Anthony Rendon a day off, and Jose Lobaton is in there for Matt Wieters. Daniel Mengden, highest ERA in baseball since the beginning of last season, 6.81.
Yeah, last start at Cleveland on May 29th. He went 3 1/3, gave up 5 runs on 7 hits, 3 homers in that game. It was the first time in his professional career he's given up 3 homers in a game. So fastball, cutter, curveball change. Fastball 90 to 93, 4-seam, 2-seam. Cutter, curveball change. Changeup averages 78 miles an hour and a pretty bueno stash, I might add. Here's the defense for the A's. Davis, Kana, Joyce outfield. Pinder, Healy left side. Lowry, Alonso right side. And Josh Begley behind the plate.
Bueno stash, a new addition to our scouting report. Thank you for that.
That is, look at that. I mean, you could put a lot of substance in that thing.
A's pitching staff, 4.58. 4th highest in the American League. And by the way, we noted last night the Nats staff ERA would go under 4. Checking in today at 3.98, and the starters even better than that. We hope Joe Ross is up to that task. And meanwhile, the Nats will try to get him some runs early. Oakland, one of the worst teams in baseball recently in giving up runs early in games.
I mean, it's only fitting, right? Where Raleigh Fingers made his mark to have a stash like that.
Okay. Trey Turner, he's at safely 10 of his last 13 games, over 320. Couple of knocks last night. First pitch, and we're underway at 4:07. DC time. 107. What a picture perfect Saturday afternoon in the Bay Area. Got an old-fashioned big windup going. 5 years in the big leagues for the home plate umpire, Quinn Wilcott. Scott Berry at first, Brian Honora second base, and there's Paul Emmel, the crew chief. He's at third.
You might have to bust out the here's the windup and the pitch today. I mean, this is Ole Ohlendorfer style.
Here's the windup, and the 1-2 pitch is a bouncing ball foul by Trey Turner. Had to reach on that one. All right, you played out here a lot. San Fran here down in LA. Day baseball on the West Coast. Tough to see the ball, or is this a picture perfect day for hitters and pitchers?
Hitters and pitchers. And the backdrop here is like none other. The ball carries in this ballpark during the day, especially on a warm day.
Turner out to short. Chad Pinder, close, very close, 1 out. A's defensively, as we noted last night, most errors by far in the big leagues, 55 in 54 games.
Jason Worth.
And Jason Worth DHing today is next.
No, last night with Triggs, he was out of the stretch mostly. So as a hitter, you kind of had to speed up the process. But today with Mengden out of this windup, I think it's a recon mission, right? First time up, you got to get your timing down as a hitter. He's got some funk in his delivery. So as a hitter, I'm going to see a few pitches first, kind of get my rhythm going with his rhythm and figure him out first time up.
Yeah, he works from the extreme first base side of the pitching rubber. good thing today. Jason can DH day game after night game. That way you've got his bat in the lineup. And he goes down and gets one. High fly ball to deep left. Going back, Chris Davis to the track. That ball carried about 355 out there for the second out. Inside the numbers. Speaking of carry, the Nats over 600 yards of home runs last night. With 662, and Anthony Rendon led the way. Goodwin also over 400. Murph, Taylor, Worth. The Nats up to 82 home runs, third most in baseball, behind Tampa Bay's 86 and Houston's 84. And by the way, today either the Nats or Houston will be the first to 300 runs. They're both sitting at 299. Murphy goes up swinging. Pop up short left center. Chad Pinder. Quick top of the first. Joe Ross looking forward to starting close to home. Here he goes. The A's hitting .233. Second to last in the American League in batting average and in runs. Yonder Alonso, former Padre, having a nice season. Hit his 15th last night. Chris Davis has 16 home runs. They're 2 and 5 in the league, respectively. They're facing Joe Ross, who was born in Berkeley, played high school ball. Bishop O'Dowd right here in Oakland. And a true homecoming for him tonight, but he's been on this mound before.
Yeah, and last start was on this mound in high school in a tournament against Oakland Tech, but his last start on the 28th was against the Padres in the big leagues. A lot of career high 12 hits in 4 innings of work, 5 runs in that 5-3 loss, 85 pitches. So last start he threw the fastball 55% of the time at 92 miles an hour on average. Slider 43% and just an occasional change at 1%. So big start for Joe Ross here at home.
Facing Matt Joyce. Showed us some pop last night. Couple of walks and a 2-run homer. And Ross right in there with the 93 heater. So Ross used to come to this ballpark with his older brother Tyson as kids. And said one time Tyson got a foul ball that probably would have hit him in the head or the face had his big brother not taken care of business there. And they built Mount Davis out there when Joe was 3 years old, so he's never seen anything but this ballpark in this configuration. Been looking forward to it. Fastball rides high and the foul by Joyce.
Perfect day for baseball. Slider from Joe Ross. When Joe Ross's slider is on point, it goes straight down, doesn't have any right to left to it. It'll just come in, look like a fastball, and drop off the table late. You see a lot of hitters swing over the top. Here it comes again.
Great slider. Looked like a strike for a long time, then dove down and into Matt Joyce. Joe Ross, 25 strikeouts, 5 walks now in 28 innings.
Well, here's the good slider. Straight down, right over the top. And that's the way this one starts at home for Joe Ross, a strikeout of Matt Joyce. It's a home game for him.
Here's the shortstop, Chad Pinder. 3 A's in the lineup today have faced our right-hander. So Joyce now 0 for 2 against him. Chris Davis 1 for 3. Yonder Alonso 0 for 1. First time for Pinder and Jed Lowry, who will follow here, bottom of the first. Fastball turned him around and moved him off the plate.
I like that pitch. Helps his slider on the other side. Now you're not as comfortable covering the outer half because you have to look out for that sinker right at you. Heads up, Chad.
And Pinder, former Virginia Tech All ACC player, fouls it away.
Here's your defense today. Lynn Taylor Goodwin the outfield. Turner Drew left side. Murphy Zimmerman right side. Jose Lobaton behind the plate. Stephen Drew at third base. His first start since April 11th. Welcome back, Stephen Drew.
In on the hands.
Wait, what are they saying? It hit him? Oh, catcher's interference.
That'll go down as an error on Jose Lobaton.
Catcher's interference resulting in first base.
No at bat for the hitter either. It's like a walk.
Third position, second baseman, right?
See it again. Jose's done this on occasion. Kind of reaching out for that ball. Usually lets the ball come to him. He reached out and Pinder got his glove. You could see his glove move.
Here's Jed Lowry with a man aboard, 1 out.
I always thought, like in a close game and you're leading off, say the 8th down by 1. What's to stop a hitter from doing that on purpose? You know, just casting my bat back a little bit and catching the glove to get on base to lead off an inning.
Yeah, how could the umpire read intent on something that happens that quick?
Right.
Lobaton setting up low and away. Lowry at 287, left-handed 303. He's scuffling. 0 for his last 7, 2 for 21. But maybe home cooking's what he needs. 330 here at the Coliseum. Although he did go 0 for 3 with a walk last night. He's a doubles machine when he's going well. 16 of them this year. And Ross misses away.
A lot of talk about Joe Ross's arm slot and how it's dropped. I think it's more its fingers and release point versus arm slot, because we've done some side-by-side homework on his release point. It's the same as it was last year. But if I'm releasing the ball with my fingers on the side of the baseball, I get that side-to-side action on both my slider and my sinker. If my fingers are just a tick up, say more like 1 o'clock on the clock versus 2 o'clock, now I get that downward action on my slider and that downward action on my sinker.
No, Nats would love some downward action and a ground ball at somebody here. Third best defense in the National League, turning double plays. Ross goes upstairs with 92 to get the swing and miss. Full count. And we'll see if the A's do anything with the runner. They're really not a running ball club, and with Rajai Davis not in the lineup today, they don't do much running at all. And their other guy, Marcus Semien, on the DL, he's their second best base stealing guy. Short lead. He's going. Swing and a drive to right. That's way out of here. Jed Lowry, 7th of the year. And that's what he does when he comes home to the Coliseum.
Yeah, 3-2 fastball location mistake. Jose Lobaton wanted it away, kind of drifted back toward the inner half, and Jed Lowry with number 7 on the year, no doubter, to make it 2-0 Athletics. I feel like this has been wiffle ball here the last 2 days. Not a lot of singles and doubles, but taters galore.
You know, and I noticed something last night too, Pete. I don't know if we talked about it. Even after it got dark, the ball still carried here. There's a lot of suspicion about the baseball. I'll just leave it at that, going around. And last night when it's supposedly dead here, that thing was still jumping. Of course, you got to give the hitters some credit for centering balls. So here's Chris Davis. He's hit 16 this year. Tied with a bunch of guys for 2nd in the American League behind the Yankees' Aaron Judge, who has hit 18. Upstairs from Joe Ross, 1 ball, 1 strike. So that's number 79 for the A's. We trail Tampa Bay and Houston in the American League home run race.
Slider away plays here, see if they decide to go with it.
Yep. Running fastball, and if he was guessing, he wasn't ready for the express. 2 down, both on strikeouts.
So good pitch. He started it off, ran it back. And if you're Joe Ross, all you need to do is look at the run support you've gotten all year, and maybe even the game last night, and you don't panic down 2-0, especially in this ballpark, a day game, and with the numbers, the epic numbers your offense has been putting up.
Yonder Alonso.
Safe to say this isn't going to be a 2-0 final.
Yonder Alonso has never hit double-digit home runs in the big leagues until now. And here he is in their 55th game of the year with a career-high 15. 0 for 1 with a walk against Joe Ross. Shift is on. 2-0. That's Drew, feeling very much at home, playing shortstop as the 3rd baseman.
Yeah, Alonso did play a couple years in Cincinnati, so that's a launching pad, but he only had 29 at-bats and 88 at-bats. Majority of his career has been in San Diego, where the ball doesn't carry at all. So that makes sense.
And right through the shift, even with the fielders at the regular positions, that probably would have been between 3rd and short. And the A's have their 2nd base hit here. That'll bring in the 3rd baseman, Ryan Healy.
3rd baseman, number 25, Ryan Healy.
Healy base hit after the Alonso homer in the 9th inning last night, before Blake Trinan gave up another hit and then got that game-ending double play ball. Five-year-old infielder slash DH from West Hills, California. Two and 0.
Joe Ross first came up, he'd really drive that fastball through the catcher's chest. Right now, to me, it looks like he's not finishing his pitches as well as he used to with his fingers on top of the ball. That was a good slider. And Mike Maddox said, you know, when he went back to AAA, he was just working on getting on top of the ball, being downhill with every pitch. And it's almost like a hitter. You're looking at the flight of the ball off your bat. You're really not thinking of your swing. If you just think downhill, you get on top of things naturally.
Two-one pitch. And this one high in the air to right center. Taylor going back, and this one is gone. Ryan Healy, his 10th of the year. And that is a big-time fly to the opposite field. 4-0 Oakland.
Yeah, fastball belt high, location mistake. Jose Lobaton setting up down and in. Joe Ross left it right down the middle. So that was 409 feet of two-run homer for Ryan Healy. Joe Ross, after his last start where he gave up 5 runs on 12 hits in just 4 innings, is off to a rocky one here against the A's.
Strike call to Stephen Vogt, catcher last night, DH today. Ball down and in. Mengden 9 pitches first inning. Joe is going to be in the 30s here. Swing and a miss on a slider down and in. 3 unearned runs after the error. A couple of home runs. Our must to do up is Ryan Zimmerman. 22 multi-hit games. Over 350 on the road in just about every department there is. Zimmerman, top of the league.
Going to lead this thing off, trying to jump right back into this ball game. Cardinals Cavaliers join the Nats on Saturday, June 24th. We celebrate the first of 7 college days at Nats Park with a special ticket. University of Virginia students, alumni, and fans will enjoy an outfield reserve ticket, a UVA National co-branded New Era hat, and the drummer from the band will be there. You can hear him right now at this ball game. Visit nationals.com/special ticket.
Now, is that only when the A's hit?
Oh, that guy's driving me nuts.
Kind of sounds like it. All right. Silence is golden. Here's Zimmerman. Pitch number 10 by Mengden. Strike one, top of the second underway. Three times on base last night, couple of singles, an RBI, a run scored, and a base on balls. Only Charlie Blackmon has more multi-hit games than Ryan Zimmerman's 22. Blackmon with 2 more than that. And 92 slips by him. Looked like Ryan was on that heater.
Got a long way to go in this one. Big game today. You win this ball game, you have a winning road trip. And when you come to the West Coast, that's a big thing. I don't care how good you are.
Taking that fastball the other way, hammering that ball foul.
Ball's flying.
Mengden career 2-10, 16th start, 6.81. He's never won a game in the home uniform. 0-7 here. Had some surgery during the offseason. Right foot, and that's a breaking ball that freezes Ryan Zimmerman for his first strikeout. 4 in a row to start the game. With the only Nat who's faced him, Adam Lind, coming up.
Check out the windup, a little hesitation at the top, trying to figure out when to start your swing, your load. Pretty good pitch by Mengden. He's been sharp here early.
Yeah.
He was probably sitting in the dugout last night going, get it all out of your system, boys. 20 hits, 13 runs. I'm pitching tomorrow.
Adam Lind 1 for 1 with a double and a walk against him. Mengden fractured a bone in his foot throwing at home during the offseason. Throwing a bullpen, they say. He had surgery after that. Took a while to get his 2017 season underway, and just his second start at the big league level. Taylor next, bumped up to the number 6 spot today. Ball gets on you in a hurry off that big windup.
Well, he's got a 4-run lead. He could be a little more relaxed out there. He knows he doesn't have to be perfect, but he also knows that he's going up against a tough lineup, so he has to be on his game here.
On the breaking ball, Lind fouls it back. Nationals start the day now with an 11-game lead. Mets, Braves both lost last night. 11.5 over Atlanta. And a 1-2. Lind rocks one to the right field corner. It's going to hit out by the 330 mark. Adam Lind DH last night. RBI hit and a walk, and his Saturday afternoon's off to a good start.
Yeah, I think he joined the hit party late last night. Checked in with a base hit, and now there goes the no-hitter. Yeah, last night in the 8th he got a hit. Today in the 1st he gets a hit. I'll say it again. There goes the no-hitter. Love watching Adam Lind hit. He does not get cheated, even with 2 strikes. He is letting it fly.
Yeah. That piece of contact was louder than the bass drum. And the Nats have their first runner. Here's Taylor. Breaking ball gets away. Fegley had no idea where it went. Wild pitch, and just like that, a run at third base, potentially.
Michael A. Taylor last night with his 5th Michael A. Tater. Little slider down the way off Triggs, drills it to left center. We are loving what Michael A. Taylor is doing early in this season.
Right fielder, number 8.
15 of 19 games hitting safely lately. 10 extra base hits. 311 the average. Infield back, it's a run for the Nats unless it's a one-hopper to third or to the pitcher. Maybe first base. Alonso playing about halfway on the right side.
So he's doing with his front hand, same thing Bryce does, telling himself stay through it, up the middle. Don't pull off.
Way outside, ball 3. So they get Mengden on the stretch for the first time. And we'll see how things go for him now. Can't utilize that big windup. The Nats, look at that, over 500 last night. When do you ever get 13 opportunities with runners in scoring position? Much less 7 hits. 4-pitch walk to Taylor. And a big spot for Stephen Drew as he returns to the lineup here.
Well, up by 4, the last thing you want to do is walk a guy. And now Stephen Drew's got pop, ball flying. One swing, you're back in this.
One at bat on this road trip. He was activated Monday. And in the 9th inning of that 3-0 win at San Francisco, he drew a walk. So maybe this is the thing for Mengden. Once guys get on base, things get a lot tougher for him. Target away.
First start since April 11th. That's a long layoff for a hitter.
He got replaced by Anthony Rendon in the 6th inning after he hit a ground ball out. And the night before, he had all 4 of his RBIs against St. Louis with a single, a double, a sac fly, and another single. Now the battle begins on 0-2. Target outer half. Drew will drill one to center. Pretty good at bat. Canna makes the play. The Nats get a run. That's a pretty good job on an 0-2 count. 4-1 ball game.
That's a really good job on an 0-2 count. Why? Well, you haven't played in a long time. And putting the ball in play and getting on the board, huge right there. So nice at bat, Stephen Drew. Get some high fives back in the dugout. Little sac fly to center. Nats on the board. Nicely done.
All right, now with 2 outs, we'll keep our eyes on Michael A. Taylor.
Huge lead.
Jose Lobaton steps in.
He might get the biggest lead of anybody in the National League. I don't know that I've seen anybody with a bigger lead.
Soft toss over. Michael A. 3 for 4 stealing. Good take by Jose. He's starting to get things going a little bit. Tough when you don't play, but maybe twice a week. Last 5 starts, a hit in each game. That off-speed pitch had him way out ahead.
Look at numbers career against the A's. Small sample size, 7 ball games.
It gave him the A move, and that wasn't close.
Huge lead.
Holding. Lobaton a foul. Started, then stopped, and now he starts it up again. He's going to go to third on Jose Lobaton's base hit. And the Nats have runners at the corners for Brian Goodwin with 2 down.
Nicely done, Jose Lobaton, checking in early with a knock. A guy who did it all last night was Brian Goodwin. He checked in early with a great play in right center field. Had a couple of singles. And then hit his first major league home run on a 3-1 pitch to right. And I think he got the ball after the game. At least that's what I heard from the A's broadcasters. Didn't see him in the clubhouse today. He did. Triple the next time up. So 4 hits last night for Brian Goodwin. His average went all the way up to 310.
Yeah, 102 points last night. That's a good night. Looking for his 10th base hit of the year. They want to jam him. And the fastball stays inside.
Can't tell you how relaxed you are as a hitter when you're coming off a 4-hit night. You're not really thinking about anything. You just see ball, hit ball. You're not pressing. Confidence level high, obviously.
Off speed in there.
I mean, you have a night like Brian Goodwin had. You know, you start to feel like you belong. Not that you didn't before, but you really start to feel it.
Upstairs.
Can you go out to the mound and check someone's mustache?
For foreign substances? Yeah. I would imagine.
Check his stash. Because there's wax in it. You can't get the Raleigh Figures mustache without putting something in it. If you ever had that like crew fiber or whatever it is, I mean, that would come in handy.
Our crew is on it. I'm sure close-ups all over.
You could put an eye out with that thing too.
This is a big pitch for him. 3-1, bottom of the order. Turner up next, and a lot of hot water in this inning for Daniel Mengden.
Well, the home run we just showed you was a 3-1 pitch. Can't get in rhythm here. Hitter, pitcher, catcher, ump, drums.
Goodwin waiting and waiting, and a foul ball off to the left. This count will give Jose Lobaton a head start at first. Jose's been taking about a 3-foot lead off, and at the same time leaning back toward the first base bag. So with Mount Davis in the distance, here comes a game situation, and it's only the top of the second. Off speed, and Goodwin rifles one about 5 or 6 feet foul.
Boy, he did a nice job of waiting for that pitch. He was fooled. He got his foot down, kept his hands back, and tried to keep it foul. It was a good swing. That's how you know you're close to locked. When you're sitting dead red, you do this. You get your foot down, but you keep your hands back and almost get inside of that and keep it fair. Good swing.
Lobaton running, and Goodwin pops it up left field. And coming to get it, Chris Davis. That's made the Oakland starter work a very long top of the second. Hula hoops in the bowels of the stadium here with the A's mascot. Well done. How about joining us as we celebrate the 13th annual Night Out at Nationals Park? Tuesday, June 13th, Nats Braves. And an opportunity for you to show your pride with other area members of the LGBT community. Portion of ticket proceeds benefit Team DC's scholarship fund. Visit nationals.com/special ticket. In between innings, so you're DHing today, right?
No, it's a new relief pitcher, Jason Worth. He's in the bullpen. Having a good time like all the boys are right now. 15 over, 11 games up. Just running some sprints to stay loose as a DH.
Yeah, because he's going to bat again since the Nats turned over the lineup there. Now time for Joe Ross to get things going. Fastball runs in for a strike. 2, Mark Canha, the center fielder. Long, rough first inning for Joe. 3 earned runs. And you might be wondering, how can those runs, that many, be earned because there was an error? Well, when it's catcher's interference, you can't assume that that batter would have made an out. So because of that, 3 of the runs are earned, not just 1. Bit of a different call on an error, but that's the way it's scored. And now 0-2 to the leadoff man.
I'm telling you, if Joe Ross keeps it at 4, he's got a good chance of winning this ball game.
Agreed.
Do you know the history behind the elephant?
Well, it goes back to the Philadelphia Athletics.
It does. 1901, Connie Mack and the Philadelphia A's became one of the original founders of the American League. In 1902, New York Giants manager John McCraw dismissed the A's, calling them the White Elephants.
So we'll make that our mascot.
So Connie Mack took up the gauntlet and adopted the white elephant as the team insignia. That year, in 1902, the A's won the American League pennant.
Take that, John McGraw.
So it was good luck for them. They won the pennant in 1902, 1905, 1910, 1911, on and on and on, and that was their good luck sign. And that's where you get the white cleats, the white elephant.
8 World Series as the Philadelphia Athletics. They won 5 of them. They never did it in Kansas City. 6 World Series as Oakland, and they've won 4 of those.
They're the Mets here in the Bay Area, and the Giants are the Yankees. Okay, it's kind of how it works with the fan bases. You know, a little more hardcore over here. You know, back when the Mets were in Shea Stadium, this is kind of Shea Stadium-ish.
Good call.
You know, Yankee Stadium on the other side is the Giants. Although more World Series championships here, and that's where the argument begins in the Bay Area. Well, yeah. A's have 4, you have 3. It used to be 4-0 for a long time. Now it's 4-3.
Ross missing away. So from 0-2 to 3-2 here in the bottom of the second. High fly ball to left field. The sound of that got the crowd excited. Michael A. Taylor is going to call off Adam Lind at the last moment, and Adam probably not too upset about that. It looked to me like he was battling the high sky there.
It looked to me like Dusty Baker said, hey, Michael A. Taylor, anything in left center field you take today. Because Adam Lind is a first baseman. He didn't look too sure on that route. Michael A. says, you know what? I'm going to listen to my skipper, and I'm going to take everything I can going into the gap. And, hey, that's what a good center fielder does, helping his friends out. Nice play. I put 7 in my scorecard.
I think I'm going to put an 8 with an arrow pointing toward left field.
7.5?
Yeah. Here's Josh Fegley, the catcher. 29-year-old from Terre Haute, Indiana. He's a Hoosier, went to IU, was all Big Ten there. Fastball, Joe just missing at the knees.
Even though you're down by 3, shutdown inning huge here. You got a little momentum going offensively. Get your ball club right back in the dugout.
Base hit. More on Joe. Here's Dan.
Bob, as you guys have mentioned, Joe Ross growing up here very close to the San Francisco area, but was a diehard A's fan. He went to countless games here. Also spent a bunch of time here when his brother Tyson pitched for the A's. He said he was at a bunch of the games in 2002 when the A's went on that 20-game winning streak. He's been to some postseason games here, joked that those games didn't go as well. But Oakland Hills area resident growing up, about 10 minutes from the ballpark. So he loved the A's, and this is a big thrill for him, he said yesterday, getting a chance to pitch here as a big leaguer.
Circa 98, the date of that couple of pictures. Very nice. Thanks, Dan. Top of the order, here's Matt Joyce. Joe struck him out to start the game, and then things got rough.
I'm just guessing, but in that picture, I'm thinking Joe Ross hit third and played shortstop when he wasn't pitching. Just a guess.
Yeah, he's still such a good hitter. Fastball will be up and in, move it back a little bit. Joe Ross needs a ground ball at somebody badly. Something to turn his afternoon around. Keeping the ball down, Joyce took it. Quality strike, it's 1-2. Tanner Roark charting, and tomorrow he's starting. It'll be his second career outing against Oakland. 1 o'clock tomorrow. And then on to Dodger Stadium.
I like the whole charting thing. It's old school. A lot of pitchers don't do it. A lot of teams don't do it. But what you're doing essentially is your homework for tomorrow. You're keeping score and you're finding out what pitches got who out, maybe what you want to do to hitters tomorrow. That plus your scouting report in the morning before the game kind of locks you in mentally. It's, you know, it's like our production meetings every day before we go on.
Intense, man.
And we keep score, then our production meetings, then we're locked in and we're ready to broadcast. Same thing.
Yep. All that's left is lunch, and then we're good to go.
Yep. Then it's food coma for 9 innings, baby.
See if the runner's moving here with 1 out. It's a catcher at first, so Zimmerman playing behind Fegley. He's getting a big lead. You know he's going. Swing and a take. It's ball 4. Thought he might have gone. Joe Ross a long look in there, and that's never asked for an appeal on that. Mercedes-Benz on the pitch cast.
See where the pitch was, and did he go? Pitch was close too. Maybe Jose popped up and blocked out the umpire. It looked like it was a little inside. Ooh, that was real close.
Yeah.
It always is on the replay though, but nobody checked.
Yeah, I was surprised there was no appeal. Here's Pinder, who was in the process of swinging when Lobaton made contact with his bat. And thus he reached on the interference call, strike one to him. So it's going to be another long inning for Joe Ross here. And then again, he needs that ground ball. This one to left. Adam Lind to his left. 2 down.
So in case you missed the first inning, we're going to show you a few taters by the A's. Jed Lowry was the 3rd hitter of the game. After the error by Jose Lobaton, the catcher's interference, he hit his 7th. That made it 2-0. And then Ryan Healy came up. And here's some StatCast on 102.4, 409 feet. StatCast is brought to you by Amazon Web Services. So a lot of taters the first couple of games of this series and counting.
5 for the Nationals last night. And Joe gets ahead with the changeup at 81. A changeup or a slider that didn't do a whole lot, but the location was good. Strike 2. Lobaton popping up. And then the call by Quinn Wolcott.
Bury that slider down and in. Or you can elevate the fastball here. A couple of ways you can go. They're going upstairs with the heater.
Get it up there. Not a bad 0-2 pitch. And a ball driven to right. Fair into the corner. Fegley scores. Joyce being sent by Chip Hale at 3rd. And it's 2 more for Oakland. 6-1. 4 RBIs for Jed Lowry.
Dusty Baker frustrated. Joe Ross frustrated. It's supposed to be a slider. Or was that a changeup? Couldn't tell in the replay. It was either a backup slider or a changeup. Either way, Jed Lowry nails it in the corner and a couple more runs for the A's. All of a sudden, the Nats have a predicament with their 5th starter.
Yes, sir. As FP mentioned, last time out, 4 innings, 12 hits. And that was against the, at that time, worst batting team in the league, San Diego, who scored 5 runs on their way to a 5-3 win. Joe lasting 85 pitches through those 4 innings.
I'm just not seeing the stuff as crisp as it used to be. And I don't know if it's a health issue, if it's a mechanics issue. It could be a trying too hard thing. Could be, you know, from a sports psychology standpoint, you know, I'm thinking too much out there and not just being an athlete. There's a lot of things it could be. I don't know what it is.
6 runs already on 5 hits. Chris Davis, the batter, struck out looking first time. He's pumping this time. slider. 0-2. Game started at 107 out here. 2 o'clock straight up, and it's been an ugly 53 minutes. BCFP DK, game number 5 of the road trip. Nats haven't lost yet. They've got a big hill to climb today, about as big as Mount Davis. 0-2 pitch. Slider away. And a swing. That time Lobaton appealed down to Scott Berry, and the inning's over. A's pick up 2 more on a crippling 2-out RBI by Jed Lowry.
A beautiful day for baseball. Down 6-1 as we go to the top of the third. Pups in the Park, presented by Budweiser, is back on Saturday, June 10th. Nats take on the Rangers, 12:05. Bring your dog to the yard. Pup tickets benefit the Humane Rescue Alliance. Tickets to all Pups in the Park dates throughout 2017 season are on sale now at nationals.com/special ticket.
All right, here we go, top of the third.
Bring your mutt to the yard.
Strike call, 39th pitch by Daniel Mengden, his 26th strike, and he got Trey Turner on a ground ball to short, first time up. Healy even with the bag at third. And Turner looks at the off speed, 1-1. Enhances his chance of slamming one by the hot corner for a hit. There's your DH, fresh off a sprint to the bullpen and back, Jason Worth. Ball 2. Joe Ross, 58 pitches in the first 2 innings. The ball and the bat, both foul. What's left of the bat?
Danny Espinosa running Trey Turner out, a new bat. Spray it up. Oh yeah, he got a little sword left in his hand. Look out, Brian Healy. Bob Henley, the ghost of Bob Henley. Does he have all the sunscreen on today? Better.
2-2 the count. Breaking ball up. Another ground ball. It's off the glove of Pinder. And they'll probably give him an error. But you know, after what he saw in the first inning, Trey Turner sped him up right there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what speed does. We saw Brandon Crawford, one of the smoothest fielding shortstops in all of baseball, Gold Glove winner, rush a bunch of throws with Trey Turner hitting Chad Pinder right here. Same thing. That's probably not how he would have fielded that ground ball if it was anybody else. But because it was Trey Turner, because he almost beat out the first ground ball to short, he rushed, and Trey reaches via an error. Need base runners, take him any way you can get him.
Pinder's third error, the A's 56th of the year. A staggering total, just over 1 per game. So Worth steps in. Fly ball to left, Jason's first time.
Well, besides the extra pitches, besides the extra outs, the mental part as a pitcher, when you know you made a good pitch, you got an out, and the play wasn't made, wears on you.
It does wear on a ball club. It's like the infielder's version of a blown save. Now it's 2-0 to Worth. When you're down big, you're just looking for any little opening the other team gives you. And now you got your big guns coming up. Target in. And Jason jammed, fouls it straight back. 7th inning, had the actually 6th inning homer last night.
20, Daniel Murphy.
I was going to call it a Worthquake last night, but because we're in the Bay Area, I didn't. So I kind of just did. It was 8th of the year.
We still have several bridges to cross in this series, my friend. How about a little flare out to short, and Pinder's going to go back and reach up for the grab, 1 out. Murphy and Zimmerman the next 2.
Now batting, number 20, Daniel
Inside
Murphy.
the Numbers brought to you by Jeep. So highest ERA, as we mentioned early, since the start of last year. Former Nat Tommy Malone. And he still hasn't won a game in this ballpark. Murphy pop up to short left center first time. Pinder went out and caught it. I know Trey Turner loves to run, and we love him, but you're down by 5. You better be sure. 3rd in the league with 14 steals.
I don't think you change your game this early, 3rd inning. If your game's running and that's part of it, go.
Murphy was on the attack early in the count first time.
And the reason you change it later is you only have so many outs left. You can't really flirt with getting thrown out. But in the 3rd inning, down by 5, the best offense in the National League, sure, why not? That's why they're throwing over.
Down and in. Trey Turner, 33 steals in 39 attempts last year. I think the cutouts here are a little smaller than they are in other ballparks. Usually that's a 12-foot lead at least when you get to the corner of the grass there. And this ball high in the air, out of play, left side. Daniel Murphy, another guy who went deep. 3rd inning for him.
There was only 4 guys that didn't go deep last night.
True.
So you're going to see a lot of this today. Number 10 for Murph. Tough place to go out of here. Same place that Brian Goodwin did.
Murph into double figures last night. Rendon got his 10th with that 3-run shot in the 8th inning. And Turner just starts running, and he's out. Mingden had the presence of mind not to panic, and he just stepped off and threw to the shortstop. Costly 2nd out.
He was trying to time him up, got a good jump, didn't trust it, and then said, I'm way too out here to stop now. And then he just tried to beat the relay to second. It's pretty close, I thought. Did they want to look at it? I don't think so.
That throw was right on his arm. Now Murphy, base is empty, 1 and 2.
And you're right, Mingden did a nice job of stepping off.
He jams Murphy into a pop-up, similar to the first time. Pinder can't see it, and it falls in front of Chris Davis, the left fielder. That sun is right overhead. I noticed Pinder a little bit of a flinch when he caught Worth's little looping liner a few minutes ago, and that one he just couldn't see.
Well, that's not his play. I mean, on a sunny day here in Oakland, center field's the sun field. It's not left. And look at the effort by Chris Davis. He wanted nothing to do with that. And as a left fielder, you have to know in your home ballpark that your shortstop's going to scuffle when he's running backwards, looking back into the sun, and you have an easy play coming in. Daniel Murphy will take the base hit, trust me, but that play's got to be made by the left fielder, not the shortstop.
Yes, sir. Here's Zimmerman. Can he make it hurt? Off speed for a strike. If you look at the players' shadows, they're not extending out more than a foot or two from their bodies. It's right overhead.
Yeah, but it's to center, not to left.
Outside, 1-1.
Played a bunch of games in center here, and right around the 4th or 5th in a day game, it's right in your eyes, right behind home plate above the stadium.
Zimmerman, base hit, right center. Murphy's going to get the second and stop. Matt Joyce to the ball in a hurry. So the Nats refuse to let this inning end, and now it's Lind.
A good swing by Ryan. Going with the pitch, what he's done so well all year. Off speed up, get on top, drive it to right center. Line moving here with a couple of outs.
Adam Lind hit the ball with authority, double right field first time. He's 2 for 2 career with a pair of doubles now against Daniel Mengden. Hits Oakland 5, Washington 4. Takes a big hit here to get that score a little closer, and Jed Lowry is way out into right field like he was last night. Ground ball through short would advance 2 runners, 2 bags each.
You feel like if the Nats are going to jump back into this, the ball's going to have to leave the premises.
Lind has hit 3. Counts even.
That run back changeup, a lot like a front hip fastball. He's been throwing it a lot to lefties.
Two and 1. Big rip. Counts even. He was all over a 2 and 1 there.
Love watching this guy swing, man. He does not get cheated. It's the old swing hard in case you hit it theory. I love it. That's what you're supposed to do on a 2-1 count. Let it fly. Trying to go instant 3 spot and get his ball club right back into this ball game.
6-1 A's, top of the 3rd. Lind on the off speed, able to get a piece of it. He's just one of those guys who joins the parade when it comes to runners in scoring position. Target in and up.
battling.
Off speed, hammered to right. See you later. 6-4 ball game on Adam Lynn's 4th of the year. And 6 total bases for him today.
Do you know how many teams in the National League Adam Lynn would be an everyday player on?
A lot.
A lot. You felt it that whole at bat, at least I did. I mean, he was having some aggressive swings. That's just the way he does it. And Migden hung an off-speed pitch that he tomahawks out of here for a 3-run tater. And just like that, we got a ball game, folks. How about that? Get a home run, go sit on the cooler. Look at that. Eephus pitch almost hanging in his eyes, and the tomahawk chop. Had the sound ball flying. You knew as soon as he hit it. 6-4.
Did you hear the drums go silent as soon as it headed out that way? Strike one call to Michael A. Taylor, and the Nats are back in it with 3 in the 3rd. Adam Lynn now has 20 RBIs in 60 at bats.
I mean, when
Taylor to left, but it's off the end of the bat. And Chris Davis awaits. Well, that fly ball by Murphy fell in. The Nats make it hurt. And it's a 3-run 3rd inning. Joe Ross.
This game has increasingly become about velocity for pitchers, but one thing the Nats want Joe to work on is actually less velocity on his changeup. They feel that his changeup and his fastball are too close together in terms of their velocities. Only about a 5-mile-per-hour differential between Joe's average fastball and his average changeup. Dusty Baker saying earlier today that speed differential just isn't enough. It kind of makes the changeup play like a BP fastball. He said the goal of pitching is to change speeds to keep hitters off balance. So the Nationals want Ross to try and modify that changeup grip to slow it down a little bit to add more of a speed differential between his pitches.
Well, that's going to be key, along with a whole lot of other things here in the 3rd. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. Thanks, Dan, with our Coons.com sideline report. Yonder Alonso base hit the other way prior to the Healy home run in the 1st inning. Shift on. Murphy in right field. Turner up the middle. But he's gone 2-0 on the first batter. 60 pitches.
I mean, this is where you got to get your team right back in the dugout. You have all the momentum right now. Migden's reeling after that 3-run homer by Adam Lynn, so get me right back in the dugout.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if the phone's going to ring in the bullpen if they get a runner or two here, or even a leadoff walk. Jacob Turner has not pitched since last Sunday against San Diego, and he could go a lot of innings if you need him. So it's 3-0 here.
That's the last thing you want to do.
Inside the Numbers brought to you by Jeep. Ryan Healy to the plate here.
Third baseman.
So the highest percentage of runs scored off of homers. Oakland is the ultimate all or nothing team this year. Blue Jays have been that a couple of times, and last year it was Baltimore and New York, the Mets. Amazing. Over half their runs driven in with homers. All of their runs last night, all of their runs today, except for the Lowry double last inning. Ryan Healy, big strong guy, 6'4", 232. He went opposite field last time over that 15-foot wall. Alonso very short leadoff. Ross pulls one outside, 2-1. Before this year, first time through the lineup, 182. This year, 325. The A's are halfway through their second time around, and that's going to plug a gap. Alonso heading for third. Chip Hale's going to hold him, and it's second and third, nobody out.
And a slider right down the middle. Big league hitters don't miss this. I mean, there was nothing on that. Just kind of spun in there. And for whatever reason, whether he's on the side of the ball, his arm angle's down, or he's just not feeling right. The stuff isn't sharp from Joe Ross, and this is a speech from Dusty Baker. There's nobody up in the bullpen, so the manager's coming out here and saying, hey, we got you right back in this game. I need you to pound the strike zone and figure out a way. This is a pump-me-up talk from the skipper, and maybe a little more than that.
So there's a Turner in your screen right there, Trey. And the other guy named Turner just threw his first warm-up pitch.
Well, I've heard those before from Dusty, and that was inspirational, a little bit of a chewing on top of it.
Stephen Vogt, the DH, is next. Joe struck him out first time. Back, and that's a slow roller to third for a run off the glove of Drew, and then they might rule it a base hit anyway. So the leadoff man who walked scores, and it's 7-4. Drew was way off the line. I'm not sure he could have thrown him out from there. They're going to give him an error.
That's not an error. He was safe. He was going away from the play. There's no way he makes that throw all the way across his body, across the infield, and gets vote on that. But either way, another base runner for the A's. I think the 4-pitch walk is what got Dusty Baker's attention, so to speak. Not the double in the gap. It's, you know, you jump right back in it. Adam Lind has that great at-bat, then you walk the leadoff guy. That doesn't make any manager in the big leagues happy ever.
Here's Mark Canha. So Ross may be his last hitter here. We'll see. Canha 0 for his last 8. RBI attached to that E5. Votes 12th of the year. Couldn't check his swing. Counts even, 1-1.
Got a ball in the field in right center. Somebody launched a wild pitch down the bullpen. Jacob Turner. Good hustle. Anyway, Bat Boy shave?
Different guy.
A different guy.
A different uni.
That's right.
Fastball in there. Nobody out, third inning, 2 aboard. A run home. And Ross trying to paint, just missed away. Check swing and a foul. Got him. He went around. Joe Ross, 5th strikeout. Mercedes-Benz on the pitch cast.
Yeah, slider down the way. Everything down. Joe Ross pitching for the double play. So good adjustment
Now batting the catcher.
to Mark Canha. And now he's 1 pitch away from getting out of this. So a ground ball right at somebody and you're back hitting.
Catcher Josh Fegley, the hitter. Soft base hit to right field, first time. For a strike.
You know, whatever adjustment he made since Dusty Baker's come out there, he's keeping the ball down.
Not much he could do about that little swing Vogt took. Then the strikeout.
I mean, the Joe Ross I remember was 95, 96, slider in the upper 80s, really sharp. And this year, you know, 92, 93, and then as the game goes on, the velocity goes down to 88, 89, 90. Like I said, I don't know why. I hope he's not hurt. If he was, they wouldn't run him out there. So.
Fly ball to right. He's going to back up Goodwin. Ryan has it. Runners hold. 2 down.
RBI Baseball 2017 returns with fast-paced pick-up-and-play MLB action packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, and ballparks. The RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and mobile devices. Learn more at rbigame.com.
Matt Joyce, a strikeout, a walk. Good looking curly W caps there with the stars and stripes on the W. Matt Joyce, 3rd inning, 3rd plate appearance. Murphy about 25 feet out into right field. Low and in, ball 1.
You get the feeling this is Joe Ross's last hitter, whether he gets him or not. Everything pretty close in this sequence, by the way.
Yeah, one of those pitches could have been a strike.
I mean, 3rd out, his day is done. He reaches, I feel like his day is done.
Right-handed Pinder on deck. Strike called to the outer edge. Two on, 2 out now. Popped him up. Daniel Murphy looking up into that sun. He's got it, and Joe Ross gets 3 in a row to keep it a 1-run inning and a 7-4 game. Baseball brought to you by the all-wheel drive RAV4. Toyota, what drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals. Fox Theater north of us toward downtown Oakland. And down here at the Coliseum,
But downtown Oakland is beautiful.
Dinner tonight. Well, Joe Ross, a rough 3 innings. It was an unearned run, by the way, because of the error call. And is he done for the day? You would think so. Jacob Turner continues to stand on the mound down the right field side. Drew, Lobaton, Goodwin, 3 left-handed batters against Daniel Mengden. Not exactly pitching a gem himself. 4 runs, 5 hits in 3 innings, and that was pitch number 64. So this will eventually be a battle of the bullpens.
I'm feeling like this is a Coors Field game here today. It's going to be 12-10.
Close. Off speed again. 3-2. And the worst thing he could do would be to walk the leadoff guy. And all the run support he could dream of today.
Worse than giving up a home run?
In the manager's eyes, probably.
Right?
Yep.
I agree.
One indicates you're going after the guy, the other doesn't.
Good point.
Three-two pitch. And Drew up the middle. Chuck, duck, and spirit for the first out.
Tell you what, that dirt in front of home plate's firming up, and I think the first bounce was right in it. And that ball just shot on Mengden. Made a nice play. Finished his delivery, scored to the plate, or else that would have been in center field.
Behind the air left side. Healy over there. Got to hit it way foul to get it out of play here. Jose Lobaton pulled a base hit to right field first time. He's going to stroke it well to left, but Chris Davis will back up. 2 down. Next 5 for the Nats. Tomorrow it's Tanner Roark and Sonny Gray. That's a great pitching matchup. Will it be a sweep possible or a rubber game? Then it's on to LA for 3. And a possible Strasburg-Kershaw matchup Wednesday afternoon. Makeup game. Don't forget about the Orioles coming back down the Parkway Thursday night to make up a rainout before the Nats host the Texas Rangers next weekend. The 3 games under 500 Rangers, who right now are 13 back of their arch rivals, the Houston Astros, who've won 8 in a row. If Houston wins today, they'll have 40 wins. They're at the Rangers later.
Brian Goodwin loved that call.
Fly ball to left first time. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bangden has 1 1-2-3 inning. That was in the first. Big drop on that hook. So the Nats are gone in order in the 4th inning. That's his 2nd strikeout of the day in a 3-run game. Crazy one so far here. Long way to go. We invite you to choose a winning team for your vehicle. Jiffy Lube for value and convenience. JiffyLubeDC.com. It's our, in case you haven't guessed, Jiffy Lube pitching change. So for 26-year-old Jacob Turner, it'll be his 11th appearance for the Nats. 26 hits in 25 innings, 15 Ks, 9 walks.
Yeah, fastball, slider, curveball change. 4-pitch guy. Fastball averaging 94.8 miles an hour. Throws it 71% of the time. His job to keep it a 7-4 game.
First up, Chad Pinder, the shortstop. 0 for 1. Reaching on catcher's interference and then a fly ball to left. He faces Jacob Turner for the first time. As mentioned, Jacob hasn't pitched in nearly a week. He's got plenty of bullets to try to keep this close until the Nats offense can refire. 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs on just 18 pitches last Sunday against San Diego. Good slider. Turner. Yeah, the other guy, Trey, 1 out. When you have insight, you know how to handle your finances with confidence. It's all brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. And as we look at Daniel Johnson, 21-year-old outfielder, he is tied for the South Atlantic League. They call it the Sally League, out of New Mexico State, 5th-round pick back in 2016. And right now tied for the league lead with Chris DeVito, who's with those Blue Rocks of Wilmington.
Daniel hits Johnson.
There you go. If your name's Daniel, you can hit.
Yeah. Danny
helps in the Lions den as well. Here's Murphy.
There's hits.
Setting up, and that's a drive to left center. Over to cut it off. Michael A. Taylor. Here comes the runner. Good throw gets him, but it's offline. Jed Lowry has 3 extra base hits today. That's his first career hit against Turner in 2 at-bats.
Smart hitting by Jed Lowry. Pull side home run, pull side double. What do you do next time up? Well, they're not going to try me in. I already showed them I could cover that portion of the plate. You look somewhere else. Pitch was away, drives to left center. Good hustle by Michael A. Taylor to make this close at second. And Brian O'Nora, look out. Did you see him? He almost wore it.
Somebody's got to put a 0 on the board for the Nats today. Hasn't happened yet. There's Chris Davis, a couple of strikeouts against Joe Ross. 2 for 5 career with a solo homer and a walk against Jacob Turner.
This game needs someone to take it by the throat, meaning I'm going to come into the ball game, I'm going to work quick, throw strikes, let my defense work behind me and get my team back in the dugout. You know, the tempo of this game has been beyond slow, and when you're standing on defense that long, it's hard to get your offense going. Strike one, strike two, let me make a play behind you, let's go hit. That's how you change momentum in a game like this.
And a tapper to short. Trey Turner to his left. 2 down. Runner to third. Let's check in with Dan.
Bob, today is the 3rd game of Bryce Harper's 3-game suspension. He will rejoin the Nationals tomorrow. Dusty Baker saying Bryce will likely be in the lineup for the series finale here in Oakland. Bryce actually went home to Las Vegas, spent some time with his dad, Ron, who obviously works very carefully and closely with him on his swing. Dusty saying it hasn't been a vacation for Bryce. He's been working hard out there trying to get things locked back in. And when he comes back, we're hoping to have normal Bryce back in there again after a few days off.
Yeah, Dan, I was wondering about that. Is it easier for Bryce to stay with the ball club, or is it more work to be with Dad? I think we know where Bryce got a lot of his intensity, huh? Can't wait to see him back tomorrow and then get geared up for that series at Dodger Stadium.
Well, those of you that don't know, you can't be in the clubhouse when you're suspended. You can come out and take batting practice, but once the game starts, you have to leave the premises.
That ball driven to center. Taylor turned one way, then the other, and he finds it to make the play. And so there is the highly coveted 0.
There it is. All right, nice job, Jacob Turner.
Big round thing in the book.
Go to the top of the 5th. Everybody in this graphic has had a perfect day. Even the bad boy in the background with the small beard. Check out some Geico highlights. 15 minutes can save you 50% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you can save. That is the definition of a hanging curveball, right? And Adam Lind, who was battling, fighting, scrapping, and clawing, finally ends the at-bat with a 3-run tater to get his ball club right back into this game.
He supplied all the power on that one. Trey Turner 0 for 2 and a foul ball out of play. 5th inning underway. Yeah, Adam Lind double and a homer. Lowry homer, double for the A's. Third time around the order now for Daniel Mengden against the Nats. Despite the double, Jacob Turner got that 4th inning over in 11 pitches. So we'll see if the offense can grab a little bit of that momentum. Jason Worth is next, and then Daniel Murphy, maybe Ryan Zimmerman here in the 5th. Turner high in the air to left. Chris Davis. 1 out.
Just missed it.
Now batting, number 28, Jason Worth.
The infield and the outfield here, they play him about as straight away as you see anybody played in this day and age, with defenses moving all over the place.
I mean, that is straight up definition of. Looks so weird when you see it now.
I know. He's going to fly one to right for Matt Joyce. Suddenly, 6 in a row retired by Daniel Mengden since the Adam Lind home run. Murphy will try to extend it for Zimmerman here.
Daniel Murphy.
Nats need for him to become Daniel Hits Mengden. That's right, it's hard. Day game right out of the gate after a long trip. Then night game, day game, or night game, day game. And then you got the West Coast time change, which always takes you a few days to adjust to. The reason it's hard in night games when you come out here is you're starting at 10 o'clock your time. And you're playing till 1 in the morning. You're not used to that. Then you finally get on that schedule and you go back home and have to figure that whole thing out.
Yeah, now the Nats have lost their day off at the end of this trip because of the rain out against Baltimore.
You start out 4-0 on this trip. I mean, that's, I don't care who you're playing, that's amazing.
There's Murphy. He will keep the 5th inning going. 2nd hit of the day. Daniel Murphy, 68 hits on the year. He is a machine.
Daniel Hits Mengden, Daniel Hits Murphy. DHMs meet each other. There you go, stay through
Number
it.
11,
Beautiful swing once
Ryan
again.
Zimmerman.
So simple. That's why it's consistent. There's not a lot to it. Just lift up your heel, basically no stride, head still, barrel the baseball consistently. It's not a high maintenance swing.
Remember 2 innings ago, 2 outs, bases empty. Murphy a hit while Turner was being picked off, and then Zimmerman a hit before the Adam Lind home run. Liam Hendricks. Pitching coach Kurt Young has made a visit.
Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers donate $250 to the Children's National Health System for each of the first 200 home runs the Nats hit this season. Lexus, experience amazing. See you working, boys.
Opposite field, base hit. First time, rather last time for Ryan after striking out looking first time up.
It's not stealing. That's what Murph is telling first base umpire Scott Berry right now. Say, really? I'm not stealing.
I'm leading off because I have to. Outside to Ryan.
Well, if he gets on, there's some damage on deck too. So hey, let's sleep on this 2-out rally. Yeah, that guy's having a nice day. Danny Espinosa in the hole.
Better go after this guy when you're up by 3.
Or be careful right here. This could be loud. Plug your ears.
Right off his left shoulder. My analyst has just given the dugout the green light for Zimmerman here.
Heck yeah.
Four-pitch walk, and here comes Adam Lind.
Mingdon thinking about qualifying for a win here, starting to squeeze it, and here comes his manager, and he's not going to get the win here today, up by 3 in the top of the 5th.
7 runs of support, and he can't get 5 innings in. Going to give up 6 hits, costly second walk, and here comes Liam Hendricks against Adam Lind. In the 9th inning last night, made the last out of the game on a ground ball to short. So Lind is 0 for 3 career against this 28-year-old Australian right-hander.
A fastball, slider, curveball, occasional change. Fastball 94.8, 73% of the time. And Adam Lind going to try to do it to the A's again right here, right now.
He's been pretty good against the first men he's faced. And it's only the 5th inning, but Adam Lind represents the potential tying run in the batter's box here. Double and a run scored 2nd inning. 3-run homer in the 3rd. In the dirt. Fegley keeps it close. you can see, as usual, Jed Lowry well out into right field on the shift.
Get you a good one and let it rip.
Foul ball. So 3 o'clock here in the East Bay area. BCFP DK on Masson. Nats trying to battle back here. They were down 6-1 at one point. Right now, in the middle of the game, tying run is holding a bat.
I mean, how cool is it that you get to watch a ball club that you just got the feeling it's a matter of time? I mean, whether they come back and figure this out today or not, you have that feeling that they can and will. I mean, that's the sign of a great ball club, right? Down by 3, a lot of fan bases are packing it in. A lot of ball clubs in the dugout are packing it in. But with this team, you're just thinking, okay, is it this inning? Is it next inning? And if they don't do it, they just ran out of time. Dusty all the way down the other end, trying to change it up.
Hitters count 2-1. Ball 3.
He might swing right out of his uniform here on this count. This will be a healthy rip if it's a strike. Near strike.
Nats will take a topless tater to tie this thing up.
Topless Tater Tuesdays at the Fitz.
He'll take it. Bases loaded for Michael A. Taylor.
First pitch ambush coming, heads up.
It takes a lot of discipline to do what Adam Lynn just did. You know he was geared up.
Now batting, number 3, Michael
Taylor facing Hendricks for the first time. Michael A. has walked and hit a fly ball to left today. Play Michael A. straight away.
Ooh, didn't have to be.
It was 94 with some dive on it. Very good with the sacks juiced in Michael's career. Strike 2. Now the battle begins. Didn't like the call, thought it was low.
And he's telling him too. I mean, those are 2 borderline calls that didn't go his way, and now he's 0-2 fighting for his life. Yeah, pitch track likes the low strike, but that's not a strike. I don't care what the box says.
Yeah, from a pitcher who just walked a guy. All right. Want to hit in the big leagues? Here you go. If it's close, got to be hacking. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and time given. Might show you the maturing process of Michael A. there. He felt a little momentum for the other guy and decided to disrupt that a little bit by getting some time. Back in there and ready. Scott Perry's going to ring him up from first base. Michael A. Taylor feeling there was only 1 strike in that sequence. Did he go? Close. Inning over. Nats strand 3. AL Division Series. Who's that guy wearing number 7 playing second base for the Oakland Athletics?
Number 2, actually.
Oh, sorry. Giambi got a piece of it. Santangelo bails him out. Yeah, I mean, a nice play there. And then later, FP goes double, dead center.
My last hit in the big leagues right there.
How about that?
Wow.
Ground rule double over Bernie Williams, huh?
What you didn't show is the ground ball right through my legs in the 3rd inning that led to about 5 runs.
Come on.
Still have nightmares about that. But yeah, that was the only playoff game I ever appeared in. And then we went. Yeah, Jeter play was the night before that. The flip play at home plate that Eric Burns or I should have been running for Jeremy Giambi, who had a pulled hamstring. Wow. Time flies, man.
Yeah, can you believe that's 16 years ago?
Sweet goatee, too. I had blonde hair right there, believe it or not.
You were 7 in Montreal.
We all dyed our hair blonde. The tips.
Derek Jeter still hasn't returned that ring he stole.
He stole that thing. He earned it, man.
Jacob Turner, 11 pitches, 9 strikes in the 4th. Trying to slow down Ryan Healy, who's had a big day. They face each other for the first time.
16 years ago, man.
That's a blooper, right field, and just fair. Healy joins Lowry as the 2 A's with a homer and a pair of doubles today. Sometimes this ballpark gives you the illusion that fair territory is bigger than most yards.
It just looks weird seeing somebody wear number 25 in an Oakland A's uniform. That was Mark McGuire's old number. And here in Oakland, they kind of semi-retire numbers. Tony La Russa's, I don't think, has ever been worn, number 10. And maybe someone's worn 25. I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Those are really retired, but then they have some that they call semi-retired where they just don't give them out of respect for the player or the manager.
What do you think about those 3 guys you're looking at? They made significant contributions to other teams as well, other than the A's. Reggie, Ricky, and Eck. There's Stephen Vogt, the DH. Well, not much you can do about a bloop, and Turner has to go to work. Perfect pitch, 95 on the edge. 1-1, bottom of the 5th in a 7-4 game. Popped up. Drew made the first call. Trey called him off. 1 down. There's a ball game in Miami that baseball fans around the country are keeping an eye on now. Marlins 1, Diamondbacks nothing. 7th inning. Edinson Volquez has not given up a hit through 7. So they're going to the top of the 8th now. That's a really good hitting Arizona ball club.
Day game after a night game.
It can happen.
Red Bulls only. It's tough.
In fact, way back in 1968, across the bay from here, it's the only time in Major League history there have been back-to-back no-hitters. Gaylord Perry no-hit the Cardinals, and then Ray Washburn the next day no-hit the Giants. I think that was a night-day scenario. Mark Canha, the center fielder, has hit a fly ball to right, struck out swinging. So a good out for Turner there with no advancement by the runners, and suddenly Seagulls are, for some reason, all over the infield.
Jacob Turner's got a dead fish in his back pocket.
So anybody with a really good changeup is in danger of being attacked by seagulls?
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, that's slang for a good changeup, a dead fish.
Meaning it just kind of comes in and plops on the ground, and
you hit it and it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like if you hit a dead fish.
And just as quickly they're gone. Doesn't mean they can't come back. The count is 1-1 to Mark Canha. Looking fastball.
Well, if those were pitches, if those pitches were strikes to Joe Ross, that was a strike. Or Michael A. Taylor, excuse me. But the hot dog coma working between innings right now.
Yeah, I saw you crush that.
I did. I inhaled
I think
it.
we're all going to be eating before this game's over. Keep up our energy here. Long, long day. Slider in the dirt.
I'll tell you what, Michael A. Taylor just had one of the roughest at-bats you can have in the big leagues. There was 2 borderline calls. One was a ball, one was borderline. And then the check swing at the end was, I don't think he went.
Yeah, and
he just wore it with the bases loaded, trying to jump back into this game.
Exactly.
Wore it, absolutely wore it.
Scott Berry on check swings has a quick trigger at first base. I've seen that a couple of times today.
In Scott Berry's defense, the game is not moving along, but still, I mean, if you're the Nats, it's a huge at-bat. That's trying to get back into this game.
First pitch 2 hours and 5 minutes ago. So a lot of drum solos. Payoff pitch here. Swing and a miss. Turner with 95 for the second out. Always nice to have that in your hip pocket.
Yeah, the dead fish in your hip pocket, not so much. 95 with a little arm side run. Thank you very much. Overpowers Mark Canha here with a 2-strike fastball.
Next up will be Josh Phegley, who faces Turner for the first time. So the Nats trying to get consecutive zeros on the board here. Phegley a base hit, right field, and a fly ball to Brian Goodwin out there. This would be a 2-hopper to Stephen Drew on the left side. Low throw, Zimmerman easy pick for him. A's of left 5. We go to the 6th in a 7-4 battle.
You can see the skyline faintly of San Francisco in the background. That's how close we are to the city by the bay. You're close to Flag Day Patriotic Tank Top presented by Budweiser. First 15,000 fans ages 21 and up on Wednesday, June 14th. You get the tank top commemorating the 240th anniversary of the adoption of the U.S. flag. Visit nationals.com/tickets for more details. Flag Day at the ballpark. Should we wear tank tops on TV that day? I say yes.
I don't think so.
He's out. He's seen enough.
He was good for 2 hours.
It's like that's me after I ate the hot dog last inning right there.
Top 6, so the bullpens battle for the rest of this one. Stephen Drew is 0 for 1, sac fly, and then a bouncing ball labeled up the middle that Daniel Mengden speared and turned into an out back in the 4th. Lobaton and Goodwin to follow here, top 6. By the way, hats off so far to Jacob Turner. He's given up a couple of hits. He's gotten the Nats 6 outs to keep this game settled down and within reach. Nats box, a run on 2 hits in the 2nd. The Lynn double, the Drew sac fly, and then the big outburst. Murphy and Zimmerman 2-out singles in the 3rd before Adam Lind went yard right field. Drew out to short. Chad Pinder first out. Jose Lobaton's hit the ball well twice. So Liam Hendricks has come in and gotten them 2 big outs.
Now batting.
Lobaton base hit to right in the 2nd. Line drive out to left in the 4th. Heater up. And this ball will be out of play to the left side.
You could run a 100-yard dash for a foul ball here.
Ryan Healy just did.
Well, you know who was the best at it? Eric Chavez. I mean, he would come sliding over in the dugout, sliding into the tarp, go down the bullpen. I mean, he made circus catches on a regular basis here and made it his own personal playground on foul balls for years. One of the best I ever saw.
And pitchers loved it here because of that. I mean, the way some of the new ballparks are configured, this place has more than twice as much foul ground as most big league yards do now. More than twice.
Miguel Tejada would run over and scream, "You got it," as loud as he could in broken English and scare the heck out of you every time. You got it! I thought you were calling it.
Swing and a miss. 2 outs. Notice the coaching boxes are even bigger here. Not that anybody ever stands inside them anymore. Why don't they just take the coaches' boxes and move them 10 feet further? Because nobody pays any attention.
Nobody ever has, though.
I know.
Renee Latchman, when he was coaching third for the Cardinals, would stand in left field when Mark McGwire was hitting, so he didn't get drilled.
Exactly. And Max still almost got him a couple of times. So here's Brian Goodwin, who's 0 for 2. Strikeout after a fly ball to left. Liam Hendricks is dealing out of the Oakland bullpen. He's pitched the equivalent of 2 scoreless innings here now. Without a hit, walking a couple. Zimmerman last night and Lind today.
I tell you what, as a ball club that's traveled and getting used to the West Coast, there's only so many comebacks you can mount on a day game after a night game. There's only so much energy in that first base dugout to keep pushing, to keep loading them up, to try to get that big hit. Might have one last run in you. We'll see.
Pop up short center. On the ground. And Goodwin with his 5th hit of the series here in Oakland. That'll get it to Trey Turner. 10th hit as a Nat
Now
this year.
batting, number 7, Trey Turner.
Take it, knock, they all count. Nicely done.
Trey 0 for 3. 2 balls to short, fly ball to left. And a little chopper right side. Fumbling for it and throwing the ball beyond the first baseman is Hendricks. Goodwin to third, Turner to second, as his speed creates another problem for the Oakland Athletics.
I mean, this looks like a stuntman jumping out of a car doing 30 miles an hour the way he tries to field this ball. And that's what speed does to you on defense. They're going to check and see if he's okay. Bob Melvin out of the dugout. But look at the stuntman trying to field this baseball and then throws it down the right field line. Good effort by Hendricks. But it's just the panic that Trey Turner instills on a defense. We've seen shortstops do it today, and Chad Pinder, and now Liam Hendricks with a stop, drop, and roll, throwing it down the right field line. And now the line moves to Jason Worth, trying to keep this inning alive.
Error on the pitcher. Kind of funny that after all that madness, he actually had a chance to set himself for the throw, and he just tailed it into the runner a bit, making it a tough play for Alonso. He says, I'm okay. And suddenly, now that, yeah, okay, they're going to give the error to Alonso. If you watch this at the end, might have been a catchable throw.
I don't know what's routine about this play, by the way.
Could have been a hit.
That's like a diving play for a second baseman that gets up and throws wild. What's the difference between a pitcher and a second baseman making that play? What if Jed Lowry's diving into right field, he rolls around, throws that away? I think that's a hit.
Jason Worth with a single could make this a one-run game. Up and away.
It's a huge at-bat in this game.
Daniel Coulomb, their only lefty. That's for Murphy. Worth a swing and a foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Pretty deep to left his first time up, lined out to short his second time up, and flew out to right last time.
Edinson Volquez of the Marlins has set down Arizona again. So the Marlins are hitting. He's got 3 outs to get. One-two, a swing and a miss. And the inning is over. Hendricks' 3rd strikeout. The Nats have stranded 7 base runners.
Adam Lind making just his second start in the outfield since 2010. And his first start in that time period came on the Nationals' last homestand. I talked to Adam about his time out in left earlier today. He said that there have been times over the last handful of years that managers have come to him and asked him to take fly balls out in the outfield pregame, but he hasn't gotten any game action. And he said with a smile on his face, I just guess I haven't had a manager as gutsy as Dusty is. He said that the most challenging plays for him out there will be balls that are hooked from right-handed outfielders, or right-handed hitters rather, because you can't really replicate those during BP. He said also a ball that gets through the infield that kind of snakes on the grass can be a little tricky. He's going to make sure to try and stay down on those balls. Been getting in some work the last handful of days to try and acclimate himself. Doing a decent job so far, guys.
All right, thank you, Dan, as we go bottom six. Our Coons.com sideline report. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons.
Yeah, what Dan means by the ball snaking in the grass is the way they cross-cut these outfields nowadays. The ball will actually zigzag back and forth, and as an outfielder, when the ball's on the ground, you got to come straight through it. If you start moving your glove with the ball zigzagging, you'll kick it. So you have to pretend in your mind that you're not seeing the ball wiggle, 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 wiggle towards you. And just feel it like it's coming straight. That's the ball snaking on the grass.
Nice.
There's something on the warning track behind him too. That looks like it could put an eye out.
Yeah, the remnant of something out there.
I'm going to call drumstick. I don't know. Just a wild guess today.
Hot shot. Turner in between hop backhand side. And he throws out the speedy Matt Joyce. We've talked about this a million times. Players in spots other than where they're used to on the shift having to make tough plays.
Well, he corralled it first. That's the hard part. So watch the in-between hop that he just kind of smothers and then stands up right over the top and almost in his old center field throwing motion right over the top with something on it. Nice play. Remember when he used to play center field?
He did. Here's Chad Pinder. 7 outs now for Jacob Turner out of the Nats bullpen. That long relief job can be such an unsung thing, but everybody in the dugout, the clubhouse, the bullpen knows how important this role is. You can save your bullpen. You can keep your team close enough to come back for a win.
And you could maybe slide into the 5th starting role. Who knows?
In the air to right, Murphy pointing up. Goodwin using the glove for shade. Bryant handles it well. 2 quick outs. Ace box. Big explosion the first inning. 2-run homer, Jed Lowry. 2-run homer with 2 outs by Ryan Healy. And then Lowry drives in 2 more with a 2nd inning double. And a ground ball by Stephen Vogt. Should have been a hit, ruled an error. Drove in a run in the 3rd.
Pretty big day for Jed Lowry. Check that out.
8 total bases. 1 for 2 career against Jacob Turner. This is with 96 down and in. The other good thing about this outing of Turner, American League ballpark, you don't have to pinch hit for him at any point. And as long as he's still throwing well, you leave him out there to keep doing his thing.
I'm starting to become a fan of Seagulls because they like baseball, and I like anybody who likes baseball. They're everywhere here.
Some kind of feast going on toward the upper deck left side.
Yeah.
And on a pitch up, a swing and a miss. Or maybe a foul tip that got Lobatone.
Yep, there they are.
There's some leftover snacks up there.
That's where their passes are. Section 328 is where they always sit.
Marlon Byrd's pass list. No, he's not here.
They just come across the bay because they know the Giants are in Philadelphia. They're smart. They got their schedules taped to their webbed feet.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Folks, do not doubt the passion of a man who has a rescued turtle as his pet.
That's right, Spanky. He's home alone right now.
Well, let's say he learned how to have a lot of fun when he comes out of his shell, eh? 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fastball up. It's in. Payoff pitch, 2 outs. Lowry, long and foul.
I don't know that I've ever seen this before, and it must be based on scouting reports and percentages, but Jose Lobaton in a 3-2 count just called for that fastball up out of the strike zone. So they were actually trying to throw ball 4 to Jed Lowry, hoping he chases. He didn't get it high as he wanted to, and he was on it. But how often do you see a catcher call a high fastball and kind of stand up in a 3-2 count?
Well, he's only struck out 34 times in 198 at bats.
They must know he's swinging.
He's swinging, and Turner on a short hop. Meanwhile, Jacob Turner getting it done, and here comes Daniel Murphy. Another great day for him. Base hit to left center, 1 to right center, 2 for 3, and that's coming off a 4-hit night Friday.
Last night, and there's no way that Dennis Eckersley ever beats Ricky Henderson, but humongous head Ricky Henderson wins here today in the creepiest mascot race we've ever seen.
Yeah, camera guy came in second. 7.82 A's, 4.72 Nats. Left-hander Daniel Coulomb takes over here. Born in St. Louis, high school in Arizona. Originally drafted by the Dodgers. Could be a one-batter thing for him. They have a right-hander ready with Zimmerman next, but later in the inning there's Adam Lind, so he could go against all 3 here.
Oh, yeah.
Chilling.
Daniel Minglin sitting out there. Today's starting pitcher, chilling on the steps. Fastball, slider, curve. Fastball 91. Daniel Murphy trying to check in for his 3rd time today.
Halfway through game 2, and he's looking for his 7th base hit. Coulomb, 2/3 of an inning in the 8th last night. We got Taylor, gave up a triple to Goodwin, got Turner. There's Ryan Matson, the former Philly, who usually is the Athletics' 8th inning guy. Murphy got jammed enough, hits it pretty far to left center, and that ball's going to hit at the base of the wall. He gets jammed and hits it about 375 the other way. 3 consecutive hits. What can this guy not do with a bat?
Yeah, 16th double of the year. Let's check out the pitch, the location. And the inside out swing, just pulled his arms in. I think he got the barrel to this. That's why he hit it 375. Ball carrying here, and his 3rd hit of the day, first extra base hit. So 4 hits last night, 3 more today for Daniel Hits Murphy. Wow.
Yeah, even getting his hands pulled in and barreling it opposite field. Big spot for Ryan Zimmerman here. And he throws it away. Ball ricochets back to the catcher. Safe at 3rd. Fegley put that throw right on the bag, and a bunch of A's are looking into their dugout.
That was pretty close, man. And I think Daniel Murphy just said close. And we'll look at it again. Probably won't be able to tell from this high of an angle, even though this will give you a good idea how the play developed. Did he get the tag down? He's pointing right to the dugout. I thought he got him live.
They're going to challenge, it appears.
And did Murph's foot kind of pop up there at the end? Down by 3. I don't know that this is the greatest gamble by Daniel Murphy. I don't think he anticipated the ball shooting back to Fegley as quick as it did.
So many ricochets off backstops now. The wild pitches, aren't they guaranteed 90 feet anymore?
This will show you, yes or no. I don't know, there's dirt. Yeah, he's out. Yeah.
Wow. It's a bad break for the Nats. That thing just came like a shot off the backstop right to Josh Fegley.
Yeah, that's the part that Daniel Murphy did not anticipate, and he's running off the field. He knows it.
The ruling in the field was overturned. The runner was out.
Tough break. That's a runner at 3rd and nobody out if the ball doesn't ricochet off the backstop. 1-0 to Ryan Zimmerman. Ball 2.
$42 seconds on that review. New York's drinking that cold brew coffee up there in Chelsea.
3-0 to Ryan. Walked him on 4. So the Nats have lost a couple of base runners today, but Adam Lynn made up for some of that back in the 3rd.
It's almost like the A's are teasing the Nats to get back in this, isn't it? You know, walks, hits. Adam Lynn's had a big day. Hit the hanger of all hangers out of here to make it a 6-4 game when it was 6-1, a 3-run shot.
He is 0 for 4 against Coulomb career. Line drive out, 3 grounders. Strike call. On the shift, Brian Healy stays home for the most part on the 3rd base side. This ball, left field line, flirting with the corner.
Oh, that had distance.
It did.
I didn't think that ball that much carried to it, but it was a home run if it was fair. It's right above that yellow line, foul.
On a pitch in the dirt, Lynn can't get to it. 2 down. Innings up to Michael A. Taylor, but he'll be facing a right-hander. Ryan Madson into the ballgame to face Michael A. Righty-righty matchup ahead. 7th inning in a 7-4 game. Ryan Madson, who was with the Phillies from 03 through 2011, out of the big leagues for 3 years before making a comeback with the Royals in 2015.
Yeah, tremendous comeback story. Fastball 94, curveball 81, changeup 85. Maybe Quentin Walcott thought he owed Michael Taylor one right there. Or 2.
Taylor 0 for 2. Walk, fly ball to left, controversial strikeout in the 5th inning.
So you talk about just wearing one. Bases loaded, 2 outs. There's strike 1. Here's strike 2. No shot. And here's strike 3. So a 3-pitch see ya, and maybe one of them was a strike. He definitely didn't go on a check swing. So Michael A. wore it.
And that was with the bases loaded in the 5th inning. Two and one here. Ryan Zimmerman short lead at first. Enson Volquez is on the verge of a no-hitter in Miami, and he just struck out a guy on a pitch in the dirt. And the Marlins beat the Diamondbacks 3-0 on a no-hitter by Enson Volquez.
Wasn't the last no-hitter by a Marlin Alvarez on the walk-off no-hitter?
Oh, Wilson Alvarez, yeah. They've had some in their history.
He was in the on-deck circle. I think it was a wild pitch, and Giancarlo Stanton scored, and that was the only run of the game. That was their last no-hitter. I know Kevin Brown threw one against the Giants.
Michael A. Taylor strikes out. That one was down the middle. And the Nats are done in the 7th inning, stranding a frustrating 8 while losing 2 on the bases. Things going wrong in this game. Jacob Turner is still keeping the Nats close enough to stage a late comeback. They've got 6 outs left, though. Turner has registered 9 outs. Takes on Chris Davis here. Slider in the dirt, ball 1, bottom of the 7th, underway. Turner got Davis and a ground ball to short 3 innings ago. So he's got 9 outs on 38 pitches.
Good sharp slider, fastball jumping 95, 96. Throwing strikes, good tempo.
PNC for the achiever in you. Inside some numbers. So Chris Davis and Yonder Alonso, 31 homers, combining with Justin Bourne and John Carlo. Zimmerman Harper right behind him. Scott Schebler, Joey Votto with the Reds. Then that youngster Aaron Judge and the veteran Matt Holliday with the Yankees. Challenge heater upstairs, fouled away.
One year, Barry Bonds and I combined hit 40. He hit 37, I hit 3.
You sound like Tommy Aaron combining the total with his brother Hank.
We used to joke that we were a pair of 300 hitters.
Okay.
Me and a buddy of mine both hitting 190. We just added them together. We're a couple of 300 hitters.
Tommy and Hank hit around 800 in their career. There's a drive to right center. Chris Davis' first hit today and his first of the series after going 0 for 6. He was 0 for 15 before that swing. And the drum without the bugle corps in right field having a good time.
They're either going to have carpal tunnel or going to have to ice after the game, one or the other.
Free Excedrin for everybody sitting out in that area.
Or watching at home.
Yonder Alonso is 1 for 2. Single, walk, 2 runs. For 3 career against Jacob Turner. And a big day for Ryan Healy, their third baseman. He DH'd last night. He's at third base today. He's made 8 errors this year. That's a bat they want in this lineup. Nats facing some teams with sock over the next week. Oakland, then the Dodgers. One night of the Orioles and the Rangers.
They're probably saying the same thing.
Ball is driven to left center. Taylor gives up on it, and that's why. Way out of here. Yonder Alonso now ties his teammate Davis with his 16th.
So you just look at the frame of Yonder Alonso. It's a lot more stout than it was in San Diego, and you can see the results. Obviously hit the weight room hard. There's number 16 on a 3-0 pitch going the other way. So a nice swing, a 2-run homer, and just like that, it's 9-4.
420 feet, Oppo.
He's always big, but he's jacked this year.
So here's Healy, who's had a big day. This guy's big. Told you earlier, listing him at 6'4", 232. And he launches one to center. Taylor can only watch that. Not a bad afternoon. 4 extra base hits, 12 total bases, 2 homers, 3 RBIs. The Athletics have hit 4 today, and they have 82 on the year.
What a day for Ryan Healy. You kidding me? 4 for 4, 2 homers, 2 doubles. That's a career day for anybody. Yeah, he's wearing number 25 for a reason.
Jacob Turner's inning. Nothing happening in the bullpen.
And talking about Mark McGwire, I heard Jose Canseco's doing pre and post for the A's. That would be must-see TV. I mean, must-see TV.
Murphy out in right field. Zimmerman turns to receive the throw. 1 out, bottom 7. Potomac Nationals are underway. Military Appreciation Night. First thousand fans receive a camo t-shirt. Still got time. Get down to $3.95. 703-590-2311 or PotomacNationals.com for future fun at the Fitz. No fooling. There's Mark Canha, 0 for 3. Tight slider for a strike.
You get the sense that Jacob Turner's kind of hit the wall here after not pitching for so long. Came out throwing BBs, and now he looks a little bit tired. Understandable.
Eddie Romero next in line. A quiet week for the bullpen. When called upon, they've been good. Starters have been taking care of lots of business.
Home runs in not even 2 games in this series. 12 total. That's not even Coors Field style.
Fly ball to right. It's going to stay in the yard. Goodwin really fighting the sun. 2 down here in the 7th. Josh Fegley, the catcher, 1 for 3 is next.
The catcher, number 19, Josh Fegley.
Did he just walk up to "I'm a loser, baby"? He did. Huh. Reverse psychology? I don't know.
Trying to get the pitcher overconfident here.
remind me never to give Wilmer Defoe any grief about his slow songs anymore after that one.
John Exford, one of their 7 right-handers. Count 1 and 2 here in the bottom of the 7th. Some run back on the fastball. Turner thought he had a strikeout.
Yeah, he took a little stroll toward the dugout. Did this come back on pitch cast? Not quite. Trying to give it a finish. He's gassed.
So at the Oakland Coliseum, it's all A's today. 10-4. Pounding out 4 home runs. That's inside and a 2-out walk. Matt Joyce coming in, and Dusty Baker coming to take out Jacob Turner. So he'll go 3 2/3. It's the game well into the 7th inning, but ran out of gas and gave up some bombs here in the 7th. The Nats pitching staff, Eddie Romero, former American leaguer who they've seen quite a bit. Try to get some strikeouts maybe. Washington area Toyota dealers, every time a strikeout happens, that's $37 to the Children's Inn at the National Institutes of Health. Eddie Romero, lefty-lefty with Matt Joyce. It'll be his 23rd appearance, 26 hits in 22 innings. 7 walks, 23 strikeouts.
Yeah, fastball upper 90s. He'll cut the fastball, slider. See opponents hitting in the upper 200s against any, and first pitch strike for him, always a big deal.
Matt Joyce 0 for 2 career. former Tampa Bay teammates. And the fastball rides up and away.
Very good pitch. I don't think Jose Lobaton liked the call.
And this one well foul, left field side. Last time the Nats gave up double-digit runs, May 18th. 10-4 loss at Pittsburgh. These have been few and far between lately.
Won't be the last time this year. It's just baseball. It's the schedule. Hayes came out swinging today.
Outside with 98, and the count goes 3-2. Josh Phegley will be off and running. Fair ball, Ryan Zimmerman, 7th inning over. Drew Lobaton and Goodwin ahead, and the A's now by 6. Telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. Quiet day on the docks. Loud day at the ballpark.
But between this and Dodger Stadium, we might not be able to hear anything by the time we get back to Nats Park.
What?
Huh?
Leading off the top of the 8th
How come
inning
the
for
cameraman
Washington,
can get in
number
front of
10,
our
Stephen
camera,
Drew.
but we can't get in front of the cameraman?
Rajay Davis gathering everybody together in center field there. Ryan Madsen stays in the ball game and faces Stephen Drew, who's 1 for 4 career against him, with a walk. 8th inning underway. 10-4 Oakland. If the Nats have one more comeback in them, it's got to start very quickly, and that's right off the end of the bat.
Might have broke the bat, chipped the top.
Trevor Plouffe at third base.
You say his last name like it's a verb. Plouffe.
Trying to think how I could otherwise pronounce a one-syllable word. Drew pulls one up the middle to his right. Jed Lowry. And the A's on the countdown. 5 outs to get.
Check out MASN All Access on MASN National's social media platforms. The new daily show will be broadcast on Facebook Live and feature a look at the night's games, fan tweets, Q&As with players, and much more. Follow MASN Nationals on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat for MASN All Access. All right.
Jose Lobaton 1 for 3. 1 for 4. That one picked off by Yonder Alonso. Next up is Brian Goodwin, who dropped one into center field last time up.
Now batting, number 8, Brian Goodwin.
Couple of games are going to help Brian if he needs to come off the bench in LA and pinch hit. You know, Bryce going to be back tomorrow. We're all looking forward to that. But anytime as a bench guy, you can string, you know, 10 at-bats together, 9 or 10. You come off the bench, especially when you've had success in those 9 or 10. Come off the bench firing. Maybe DHs tomorrow, who knows? Right-hander going. Maybe Bryce DHs tomorrow, who knows?
Yeah, interesting options for Dusty. Dusty only needs 1,931 more wins to tie Connie Mack.
Might get it. I'm telling you.
Cornelius McGillicuddy, Philadelphia Athletics, 3,731 wins, but nobody talks about the 3,948 losses.
Well, maybe he could play Josh Begley's walk-up song. There you go. Dusty Baker, number 1,800 last night. Heads up, Boach. He's coming to get you.
Giants led at Philly before dropping one 5-3 today. What a great list. Tapper over the mound. Races on. Out. What a close play. Chad Pinder comes to get it. 3 ground ball outs for Ryan Manson. And he's retired all 4 he's faced to get this 7, now 10-4 ball game into the bottom of the 8th inning. 5-2 on the year. 12th start coming up. It'll be his second career start against the A's. No record. And then Sonny Gray, 40 career wins, 27 years of age. This year he's 2-2 in 6 starts with a 4.72 ERA. A couple of years ago he was about as good as it got in the American League, and we'll get you going tomorrow at 3:30 Nats Extra on Masson 2. Eddie Romero faces Chad Pinder, bottom of the 8th.
Yeah,
Lowry and Davis to follow.
Anxious to see Tanner pitch tomorrow, coming off with 2 good ones, real good ones.
Lobatone setting that target in. 2-0.
Pinder's got a nice swing, short, compact. Even though he's 0 for 4 today, you can see why the A's like him so much. Very balanced. Short swing, a lot of pop in that swing. 7 home runs in limited duty this year.
Romero got in on his hands with a heater there. He'll take the walk. Johnny Holiday back in the studio, and it's our Nets Extra postgame show with Ray Knight, of course. It's all presented by W.B. Mason. This one's over. You know, you brought up the issue of the 5th starter earlier today. It might not have been a big deal over the next week or so had the Nats still had that off day on Thursday, but now that they have to play the Orioles 5 days from now, will it be Joe Ross, or are the Nats looking around as far as that spot?
It's a fair question. Nats need Joe Ross to figure it out. I mean, we hope he does. We're big fans. Just hasn't happened for him today. Another example of the stuff in the location not really matching up. Dusty's a big fan of Joe Ross too. I mean, we saw him go out to the mound for a pump-me-up trip. Sort of worked, but might have been a little too late.
Jed Lowry, and this could be playable. Very close. Zimmerman makes a very good play. Ryan pretty much still on a full sprint when he got there. And the extra room here at this ballpark costing one of their hitters an AB.
I mean, he doesn't care what the score is. How many big-time players do this down 10-4 in the 8th? Ryan Zimmerman going all out, full sprint, tons of room at a ballpark that he's not familiar with. It just shows pure hustle and pure athletic ability. I'm up here thinking to myself, don't run into the wall, don't get hurt. And he makes one of the better plays you'll see in foul territory all year long. What a play by number 11. Vote for Ryan right now.
Swing and a miss. Chris Davis airing things out. Chris Davis airing things out.
I'm feeling you could say it one more time. Let's hope he doesn't run into one.
Interesting stat on him that I saw from last year. He swung and missed at 34% of the pitches he saw. Not strikes, pitches.
See White swing.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Anthony Rizzo's hitting 226. I don't want to bash Anthony Rizzo because I really like the guy and I like his game, but he's having a tough first half. And there's no way that he should be starting over Ryan Zimmerman at first. Sorry. Ryan might get attacked by seagulls right now and not make it to the All-Star game, but if he survives this inning, because they're all around his head.
I mean, this is crazy. With more on seagulls, pardon me, Zimmerman, here's Dan.
Yeah, no seagull report to pass along just yet, although things might get a little dicey here in the late innings, Bob. Making that play by Ryan even more impressive. He's actually never played in this ballpark before prior to this series. I was talking with him around the cage yesterday, and he noted that in 14, when the Nationals were here, he was injured at the time, so not familiar with the foul dimensions and all the room that he had. Still went over, put his body on the line, and made a really nice play.
Yeah, that's Ryan.
Say, well, I'm watching Murph during Dan's report on Ryan, and he's scared for his life out there. A seagull just picked up something right next to him, and he's serious. I'm not joking. He's a little nervous.
Yeah, when the Nats were here in 14, Ryan had fractured his thumb in late April at Atlanta, hitting .364 at that time, and didn't play for a long time. Only played 61 games that year.
Great play.
Yonder Alonso went around. First career bat against Enny Romero. He has singled, homered, walked, scored 3 runs today, driven in 2.
Murph's just watching birds. I'll tell you what, it's not fun for a hitter here with a foul ball space, but if you're a first baseman or a third baseman, it's fun. It really is.
Got him.
No other place you can go run around in that much foul ball space and make highlight reel plays. You can't. So you see one go up, and it's almost like a challenge. Like, look how far I get to run. You're like a little kid all of a sudden, as long as you don't run into anything. But there's nothing to stop you from sliding into the dugouts here.
2-2 pitch. Lobitone setting up away, runner on the move, and another walk. 2 on 2 out, and that gives Trevor Plouffe an at bat here. How about that? Ryan Healy go 4 for 4 with 4 extra base hits. They replace you defensively, and now your replacement gets an AB. Take that into the clubhouse, so that's a great day.
Well, he made a few errors in that last game in Cleveland, so Bob Melvin trying to shore up his defense.
And as I mentioned, 8 on the year. So here's Plouffe, 0 for 2 career against Enny Romero. This one short center field. Turner racing out there, and he gets to it. Trey got a great jump on that ball. We're going top 9. Nats down to their final 3 outs, and they need a huge inning. baseball on Masson, brought to you by Night Point Systems. They offer the technology you need when you need it. And by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving the armed forces and their families for over 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Not that I would know, but I think that's the Mondavi Winery in Napa. Not that I would know.
Playground of some television crews on off days in Northern California. Just waiting for the Stompers to come along. That's the name of their mascot here, by the way, the elephant. Here's John Axford for the top of the ninth. Right-hander making his 6th appearance, ERA 11.57 in a short sample of duty here.
Yeah, fastball, slider, curve, 3 pitches. Fastball averaging 95.
Six years ago, 46 saves for Milwaukee, 35 the year after that. Then he's been with a variety of ball clubs. 34 years of age. Trey Turner facing Axford for the first time. Fastball is in there, 94.
Well, it hasn't been a brutal strike zone today. There's been a lot of him and Han for both teams on calls.
Turner looks at one in there and strikes out. 0 for 5 day for the Nats leadoff guy.
Gio's pitched a lot of games in this ballpark. Misses the Coliseum.
28, Jason Worth.
Jason Worth 1 for 5 career against Axford. Pumping strikes. And the big hook stays upstairs.
These are huge at-bats individually for you. You're 0 for 4. You're trying to have something to show for the day, and it's kind of like a push on your batting average. You don't lose all the points. You know, he started at 270. He's down to 263. He gets a hit here. He's right about 269. So, you know, we used to call it a salvage. That's salvaging a day for yourself when the game's out of reach. .142 hits career for Jason.
Oh, pitch boring in on him. He turned on it and down he goes.
Hit that right on the nose too. He barreled that up.
Paul Lessard out of the Nats dugout, but eyeballing Jason to see if he wants the trainer to come over.
All depends where it hits you when you do that. See where it got him. Right off the foot.
Here comes Paul and Dusty.
Well, they know how tough Jason is, and he hasn't moved. He's got his hands on a knee. He's hunched over, and he's in some kind of pain. Remember the West Coast trip, was it a few years ago in San Diego when he got hit in the wrist? Kind of diving into a pitch.
All right, Dan, what do you got on Jason?
Bob, you guys might remember late in spring training, Jason fouled a ball off his foot, and I believe it got his big toe, and it really bothered him into the first few weeks of the season. The toe was all kind of gross, really, and it was bugging Jason for a little bit of time. He was starting to get over it and feel better, but looks like that might not have gotten the toe area, but again, that kind of front foot taking some more damage.
He's going to finish this at bat because he doesn't want anybody else to have to come up here in a 3-2 count, but stay tuned.
Yeah.
Didn't Jason do something like this in Baltimore, and Buck Showalter was out of the dugout saying, let's go, let's play?
Yeah, trying to get him to get back in there.
Almost something very similar.
Jason told me about an incident he had with C.B. Buckner years ago where he did just that. C.B. Buckner's trying to get him back in the box. He said, I can't feel my foot. And the umpire's hollering at him to bat. Look at this. He's going to hit it well and trot down to first base. Joyce got there and dropped it. We'll see how they rule it. And Jason hits the ball extremely well and then just kind of limped into first base.
I'm telling you, I know Jason, he didn't want anybody else to go up there and have to deal with that count off the bench, so he sucks it up. Hopefully he gets a knock for chiefing this out. And there you see him running to first. Let's hope he's okay. He is not walking off the field well right now.
Wilmer Defoe's going to run for him. They've given Jason Worth a hit.
Good. Let's hope he's okay. That's more important.
There's Daniel Murphy. Murphy 1 for 3 career with a walk against John Axford, and down by 6. Wilmer's not going anywhere unless it's way away from the catcher.
Well, at least he's smiling even though he's hurting. Murph go for back-to-back 4-hit days.
Batting average 343. Started this series at 325. Target in. Oh my, now Murphy gets hit.
That got him right in the knee. This game can't end fast enough. You kidding me? Jason Worth in the background. He's all propped up. Now Daniel Murphy takes one in the knee. What in the world's going on? I mean, it's a walking wounded all of a sudden. I don't even know if I want to hear this.
Oh, shit.
Now batting, number 11, Ryan Zimmerman.
There's Ryan Zimmerman. Now they've taken the hit away from Worth and made it an E9.
I don't even want to watch. I mean, come on. They called that an error with Jason?
Yeah, I don't know if they changed it. And we've run into this before. Sometimes scoreboard operators will put a hit up there on their own when they're not supposed to. And then it makes the scorer look bad or worse.
I think whenever you see a big league outfielder looking at his glove and then shaking his head, it's an error.
So no hit for Worth. Zimmerman to right center and to his left, grabbed by Rajay Davis, and Wilmer Defoe over to third. The Nats are down to their final out.
Now batting, number 26, Adam Lind.
Adam Lind, 0 for 3 career against Axford. Fastball is low. Lind a big day. Double, 3-run homer, a walk. He's 2 for 3.
I know wherever I'm going tonight, there's going to be no drums, no cowbells, and no horns. I mean, anything else is fair game.
Piano bar maybe.
Nope. Well, yeah.
No bands.
No bands. If you have a drummer, I'm out. If you're
You play the same song for 3 hours, I'm out.
you're playing the cowbell, I'm out. And if you have one of those fake horns, I'm out.
3-0.
There's seagulls flying around your place, not going in. He feels the same way.
Bases loaded. Without a hit, I might add. Well, Michael A. Taylor could make it a 2-run game, and then Drew would have to get on to get the tying run into the batter's box.
Well,
who knows?
I like where your head's at. Why not?
Now batting, number 3, Michael
I know
Taylor.
I just said can't get out of here fast enough, but if it means a W, we'll stay all day and listen to horns and drums and cowbells. Oh my.
Taylor 0 for 3 with a walk. 1 for 5 career against the right-hander Exford. Defoe running for Worth, and then Murphy and Lind. Strike call. Second at bat today with the bases loaded. Breaking ball had him locked up. Strike 2. Santiago Casilla, the former Giant, is their closer, throwing just in case. Popped up. A lot of room over there. Yonder Alonso is under it, and the A's have broken the Nats 4-game winning streak. It is still a 4-1 road trip. Back with more from the noisy Coliseum in a moment.